So today we will be talking about the Datgel CPT Tool version 4.1. We'll also talk about GINT software and how together these products can help you efficiently import and export GEF data, or GEF data. So our system, our software solution allows you to manage CPTU and dissipation test data in a database, as opposed to thousands of data file formats, and it means you can have one single source of truth. So our software comes out of big infrastructure projects where our clients had to manage large quantities of data. It has batch processing tools to import, calculate, print, and now export GEF data. And it's a system that allows you to customize the database and the calculations and the reports and select what data is exported, be it to GEF or to other formats as well. It's also flexible. So in our webinar today, it'll take about 30 minutes. And I will first of all introduce who Datgel is, what GINT is, where it comes from, and how GINT and the Datgel software work together. And then we'll get into the details of the CPT tool and we'll do a demo of the CPT tool. That will take actually the majority of the time. And at the end, I'll explain how you can get more information to carry on with your considerations. So the Datgel and GINT solution, it's broader than CPT data. It encompasses all types of geotechnical information, from boreholes and lab testing to monitoring to 3D modeling. So it's a combination of the two products. Help you to be very efficient. It eliminates like double data entry and allows you to work from one interface, and provide you tools and examples of high quality presentation that you can provide to your customers. So Datgel is a third-party developer of GINT technology. So that's what the CPT tool is. It's a third-party app on top of GINT, an add-in, plug-in, whatever you want to call it. So we're your partner to get the best out of the GINT technology. We're experts in geotechnical data management. We're also a reseller of GINT and other Bentley Systems products. And our software, our add-ins, are used by in excess of 200 organizations in 30 countries at this time. And we can offer customization and consulting services to further develop the software to meet your exact needs. GINT is provided by Bentley Systems. We can resell that to you, but it is their product. So it's the core data management tools and reporting tools and CAD tools. It's the platform that the CPT tool is built on top of. So it's very customizable and flexible. It has an option to use either an Access or an SQL Server backend database. And it allows you to centrally manage and control your data in one database. And it has tools to help you automate processes, which definitely the CPT tool takes advantage of. And it's a very popular product around the world. There's in excess of 8,000 licenses out there today. So GINT has 3 product levels. The CPT tool will work with all of them. However, GINT logs is a bit restrictive because you can only print a log report. So you can't produce a graph of a dissipation test or a cross-section fence report. GINT Professional or GINT Professional Plus are the 2 products we recommend people buy to use the CPT tool because it has all the reporting options, and with GINT Pro Plus, it's the option one that has SQL Server backend support. So how does it all work together, right? So you got GINT, that's the blue bits, and then you'll see that yes, we've mentioned the DGD tool here. That's another add-in from Datgel. And the CPT tool is one of our more geotechnical products. Down the left, we have some more utility-style products. So certainly the output tool can work well with the CPT tool to produce reports, but I'm not going there today. Apart from the normal GINT program, which we will be using today, There is also another aspect which comes with GINT Pro and Pro Plus called GINT Civil Tools. So this is 3D visualization and modeling tools. All right, so down the bottom, okay, let's actually start again. At the top, we have, these are the programs that you install on your local computer. Or it could be a remote desktop server or something like that. But anyway, it's a computer. And then down the bottom are the databases, and these would be often stored on a file server, but they can be stored on your local computer, where in the case of SQL Server, it's a server application, normally on a server. So the Datgel GINT solution can produce a whole wide range of different reports. So we will in a minute focus on CPTs, but there's a broader set of products which can deal with all types of data. Okay, the CPT tool. So as we've already pretty much defined, it's designed to process CPTU and dissipation test data, analyze it, present it, really the whole process that can be achieved by CPTs. Our goal is to do that with our software. So in more detail, like it can import many different data file formats, including GEF. It can calculate, well, then it will calculate standard parameters like total cone resistance or pore pressure ratio. And then it can calculate hundreds of correlations. Now you can define more formulas yourself. It will calculate soil behavior types. You can pick from a long list of options. It has hundreds of example reports built in to the software. You can create more. It has user-definable lines and types and colors and scales, and that you can set as defaults, so you don't have to keep on setting them for every project. It does dissipation test analysis to the point of calculating CH and CB. It can present seismic cone data, but we're not doing any special calculations on it. It can do liquefaction analysis and pile capacity analysis calculations. It has tools to sort of check against specification requirements. And most recently, last year, we developed export to GEF 1.1.3, which is the latest version. So we're going to jump to GINT now. I'll drag it over and just open up the software. It's just sitting there. I'm going to open up this project database here. So first, let's just talk about what we're seeing on the screen. So this is the GINT application with the CPT tool library and example project open. So the fields and tables you see here are the CPT tool. The add-in menu, all of this is the CPT tool. But pretty much everything else is GINT. So I just need to delete this. This is the same thing we're going to import. All right, so we're going to import the. Let me just stop the PowerPoint. All right, so we're going to first of all import a one CPT GEF data file and 2 dissipation tests. So hit import. All right, so I selected the correspondence file earlier, it remembers it. But this is something that allows you to customize where the data goes when you import. I'm going to import these 3 files. I could import many, scores, hundreds potentially, of files at the same time. It'll just take some time. You can actually search your file system, like the folder system, for GEF extension files. Then you can choose to import them. So click execute, and it imports. So we have 2 engines for import. The access engine is GINT doing the import. with SQL Server, we can use the Datgel import engine, which can import data very quickly to SQL Server. All right, so we have some warnings, some overwrite things, but actually there's no real problems here. It's just that we're trying to, because we're importing 3 files with the same location, it sometimes will have warnings like this, which are fine. And some lookup things. So really there's no problems here. What's important to see is that 857 records came in and the dissipation test came in. You add them up. That's correct. So click OK. Here is the data file we just imported. You can see I just did it right now. So let's now just look around the database. So on the left here we have obviously a tree diagram. It's the different tables in the database. So we can step through this. Strata main is where the material descriptions are, and we'll populate that later. So basically most of this is empty. Then we go to the CPT tab. This is obviously where the CPT data is. So this is the uncalculated data we just imported. So at this point, we will just check we have the cone area ratio set for this cone. So that is here. And this table. So we have a cone area ratio set. We have some other settings which we won't get into in detail. And I will set the groundwater depth. We'll just assume, not too bad for this data set, assume it's 1 meter. Save. And there is a progress form over here on the other screen. So it will take about less than a minute to calculate this. So actually it's doing quite a few calculations. It's calculating liquefaction, pile capacity, shallow foundation settlement, a whole bunch of soil parameter correlations. So you don't have to always calculate everything, just for this demo. I want to be able to do everything. So in normal cases, you can turn many of those off and only turn them on when you are interested in liquefaction, so, because liquefaction is quite intensive, iterative type thing. That's what we're telling you right now. And also, although I clicked change the value just then to prompt the calculation, so I changed the value in this brown field. I could have changed one of the values then either brown or green or browny green fields. So that's that option can be turned off, so it doesn't always calculate every time you make a change. The other option is called the batch calculation, where you can prompt it to calculate all of your tests or a bunch of tests at a convenient time. All right, so the green fields have just been calculated, and some of the green and brown fields. So this first tab has the what we call the derived parameters, also the soil behavior types. Correlation data tab has the correlations like undrained shear strength, relative density, Young's modulus, stuff like that. Enviro data, whether this data set has none, but this is where things like conductivity or magnetic flux go. We won't go to every detail. The dissipation tests are here. We're not going to analyze them here today, but this is where the data is important. Liquefaction. These are the correlations. There are some default settings here. Foundation and pile capacity are the same. So one, again, some settings that are default. And the configuration is where the bulk of the options are configured, like undrained shear strength, bulk unit weight. Bulk unit weight is here. Soil behavior types are here. The correlations for the normal soil parameters like NKT, for example, in these fields here, and more and more work into detail. A lot of people ask me, where do you set the scale, say for QC? So you want to set the maximum scale to be 40. You would type 40 in this box here, and it would apply to cone resistance and to correct total cone resistance. Okay, so the formulas for the correlations are all stored in this, or can be configured in this formula tool configuration. This is also where you can turn the formulas on and off. So, for example, let's stick to the shear strength one. Actually, it's a bit complicated. Let's go back to functional. So there's it's going to take a little bit of time to get on top of this. I appreciate that, but there's the input parameters are here. This is the actual formula. This is the data this is the field where it gets written to. And we can validate the calculation based on these values here. Right? So it validates the formula, allows us to see the result of the formula based on these values. So 32, for example. All right, so yes, all the correlation formulas are in this interface. Over here, click cancel. All right, so next I'm going to summarize the soil behavior type data into the strata main table as an initial summary of information. I don't expect people to always use this as what you report to your customer. All right, so there are ways to make this less layered, right? There are some settings. It also calculated this consistency density or soil strength data. All right, now let's go to output. So I think probably at this point, you would want to print your log report. So let's print the Dutch example log report we have here. Or PDF. There it is. It does also show peak arrow sort of stuff. This data set doesn't seem to need it. Okay, and it will go to multiple pages as necessary. Again, this data set isn't that deep. All right, another option is a dynamic log where you can pick what you want to see on the page at export time. So let's say we want to see QT, friction ratio, drain shear strength, relative density, modulus, soil behavior type, index 1. Stuff like that. So it'll best fit the data to the column width to the page, unless I specifically set a number here, like make that 160. So in the trial download, there is this PDF example reports. So it has a printout of the PDF of every single report that CPT Tool is capable of doing. Like this, for example, this one is two CPTs on the one page to compare before and after compaction. Okay, so it's finished. So there's the columns I selected here. Material strength is here. If you don't like these colors we've selected, which I think they are the standard colors, I think, but yeah, you can change those. Okay, you could have edited the layers back in input. So when you print reports, it's not calculating very much, right? It's generally just presenting the data that's already written in the database by the calculations. All right, so let's go back. We'll do a fence report. So these three different data this time. Preview, okay. We could preview, but I won't. So just export. Then we can pick what we want to see. Oops. You can change the font heights here. Do it, just click OK. It's going to take, not sure how long it will take. That's how much there is. While that's happening, can look here. So that's the sort of thing we're about to see. There are also many graph reports. So for every correlation parameter, there's a graph report like that. Or this is a derived parameter, so let's just go straight, just lines. Have soil behavior type, graphs with all the different methods. And dissipation tests as well. Anyway, there's the fence. We'll come back to the graphs in a second. So that is the data I choose to print. So clearly there is potential liquefaction here. At least for the settings we set. All right, so I'll show you the dissipation test stuff here. I'm going to actually print it. Yeah, that's one. Another one is that one. So I'll show you. So show 2 frames on a page and the results, lines, and so on. To get the gist of it, it's a very efficient analysis process. All right, now let's go back to input, and I will export the GEF data. So click on Add-ins, CPT Tool, Export Tool. So we're going to have these many options. I'm just going to do this one. I will do all the potential columns. Pick. I could do many point IDs, but I just want to do this situation. And execute. All right, so over here, this window popped up showing the success. And we've created these 3 files. So, and these are the files. Okay. So the main CPT data file and the 2 dissipation tests. right. So, just drawing to an end to our webinar now. So the next step for you is to trial GINT and the CPT tool. I only put this 4.1 version on our website today, so if you downloaded one previously, don't have it. So we will email all the attendees the installer for GINT, which you can run on a 7-day trial, and the CPT tool, which will operate for 14 days. If you need longer, we can organise an activated trial for GINT, which can go for 30 days, and we can extend the CPT tool trial if necessary. It's an option to request that. Now, to learn how to use the CPT tool, I strongly recommend you look at our docs page, which I will put this in the email to you, and you refer to the quick start guide, which is essentially the process I just did in the demo. If you have any technical questions, you can email support@datgel.com. It will generate a ticket in our support ticket system. And if you want to quote or have any questions about the licensing sales process, you can email sales@datgel. If you want to talk to me as well, you can contact me. Here's my details.